Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and not care who doesn't like it. We begin again within 7 days of the last mass shooting with more news of a mass shooting coming out of Boulder, Colorado. Dozens of police officers in Boulder were responding to reports of a shooting at a grocery store on Monday, where witnesses reported hearing gunshots and seeing several people wounded in and around the building. Over loudspeakers, police officers called to the scene could be heard saying that the entire building was surrounded and that they needed the suspect needed to surrender. Police officers set up hazard tape around the supermarket and closed off a street nearby. The recent reports is that 10 people have been confirmed killed by this shooter. I want us to take a listen to one of the witnesses. First, I want us to listen to this witness as he describes the scene and also describes how regular this occurrence has become for us in this country. Take a listen in.
Just terrified, honestly. I was in shock initially when we realized what was happening. And once I called my mom and said I was okay and let her know what was happening, and it all kind of sunk in, and I started panicking and realizing that, like, this is, I don't even know, like, the fact that it's happening all over America, seeing it on the news, like, something I've grown up with, like, people my age and my generation were used to this, and it's just never something that I think would ever happen in my town, like where I'm.
I want to read a statement from the office of the governor, Jared Polis, and this is what he had to say. He said, they had to say, "My heart is breaking as we watch this unspeakable event unfold in our Boulder community. We're making every public safety resource available to assist the Boulder County Sheriff's Department as they work to secure the store. I'm incredibly grateful to the brave men and women who have responded to the scene to help victims of this senseless tragedy. This is very much an active situation, and we are continuing to monitor it very closely." And he continued on. I want to bring James and Rebecca, I want to bring you guys both into this conversation because we're not even, I think, 7 days now since the mass shooting in Atlanta that took 8 lives. And now we have another mass shooting this time in Colorado. And the suspects match the same description. In fact, I believe we have video of the suspect being taken into custody. If we take a look at that, it will speak for itself really quickly. Let's take a look at the video of him being taken into custody. And you can see another white man with the gun being taken alive. This is my first time
seeing this.
Me
yeah.
Being taken alive after killing a police officer, right? There was a police officer who was killed in this exchange. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And bodies. I didn't know the extent to which footage of this was out, Rebecca, until I saw your tweet last night about the bodies on the ground, in the parking lot, in the store. And we're obviously not going to show that footage. But this guy went in with an AR-15 and did what angry white men with AR-15s have done over and over and again. Rebecca.
Yep. So it was interesting to see how we reacted to, I want to start there, how we reacted to the Colorado shooting, mass murder. Because when it happened, usually we'll see our timelines filled from the top to bottom as a breaking or developing news story. And within an hour, it still wasn't something that was trending on our timelines. We could all vouch for that. Like, we can look through our timelines and it was like Miami or whatever the case may be. Meanwhile, there was an actual another domestic terrorist attack happening in that particular moment. And when I thought it was like, okay, they were just saying that this was an attack that happened maybe like, a while back and we're just not discussing it right now. Maybe it was the anniversary of one because we've had so many. So when I went to go look, it was actually happening right then in that moment. And the situation was still active. Right. And I accidentally clicked on a post. And I wish that I knew what I was going to see before I clicked on it. And when I saw the bodies just on this man's live, I think the man was so in shock, he was so calm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
and the bodies that were just on the street. And he just took the video and put it towards the store and the bodies that were just in the store. Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that. And when I say that thing shut me down for the rest of the day, I tried to look for other things to ease my mind. I did not even want to go to the store. I had to go to the store. I had to leave. And it was just all so scary for me. I'm just like, God, I'm in this store. I'm the only Black person in the store. And it's funny because now I'm looking like these white people are walking up behind me. I'm getting all scared. I'm going into the next lane. It is just very uncomfortable. So seeing that and knowing that it's another white man being walked out again, after shooting a cop out of, amongst the 10 people that died, just hearing the gunshots, it's trauma all over again. And I am sorry to anybody who, is triggered when they see this or hear this. And I feel like I'm becoming triggered when I see this or hear this. So when I say that we're becoming desensitized to this, it's almost like the media wants us to become desensitized, but then it's also like in the same breath, we need a breather. When are we going to get a breather? And it's just like, this is happening so much. This is the other countries. America likes to paint other countries as scary and dangerous, but we can't even go to the supermarket. We can't do anything without mostly a white terrorist being a issue in these streets.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was DJing a wedding last night, so I saw the alert come across my phone to get news alerts, but I didn't get a chance to click on it and see what it was. So it wasn't until I was talking to someone last night and they told me what happened. I'm just like, are you serious? It hadn't even been a week since the last shooting. And Rebecca is right. One of the conversations that we actually had on the phone last night, I said, bro, I'm like, honestly, I ain't gonna say I'm scared to go places, but I'd rather just stay at home. Yeah. Because now you don't know what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous. And then Rebecca, and I hate to say this or share this, but I was talking to one of my managers, excuse me, and he said he was in a grocery store here in Atlanta, a grocery store that everybody is familiar with, of course, that's frequented by clear people. And so I had to make it funny a little bit, y'all. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's heavy this morning, man.
It's just a lot.
So, but he was in the grocery store. My manager's black guy. And he is one of the nicest persons that you'll ever meet. And as he's in the store doing his shopping, he makes eye contact with the white guy that's in the store. The white guy makes eye contact with him and then looks down at his gun. And then he just walks on and keeps looking at him. I'm just like, and my boss was like, he was like, he didn't know what to do at that moment. It was just like, he just kept on walking, but it was just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Jada and I, we went to Barnes and Noble yesterday to pick up a book because I didn't want to get it from Amazon because last time I did, my daughter called me out about buying a book from Amazon. So we went to Barnes and Noble, and in the parking lot yesterday, as I'm getting ready, I was coming out masked up, and here's this white guy packing his backpack, and he took out his gun from the car and just put it in his backpack. And I had to remind myself that this is Georgia, right? He's the Second Amendment. That's we all about the Second Amendment. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like in my mind, I felt like I needed to go in and warn the people that another white guy is coming in with a gun. Because at this level, at this stage, should we take these risks and say, oh, he's just exercising his Second Amendment right? Or is this another angry white dude who's getting ready to shoot up the place? Yeah. And then I sat in the parking lot for a minute with Jada, and we thought about like what, and then I'm like, this is Georgia, this is what they do. But should we have to continuously take that chance for the sake of people like the NRA, organizations like the NRA, who want guns to be so ubiquitous and so just everywhere? They want everybody to have a gun because the gun manufacturers make all the money, and the gun manufacturers then donate to the NRA, and the NRA staff could be filthy rich. And while in the meantime, the result of it, the cause and the effect of this is that across the country, You never know, one, how easy it was for somebody to get the gun that they're walking in, and whether or not they are just exercising their Second Amendment right, or whether or not they're an angry white man that's going to blow everybody away, right? And so in my mind, I'm like, I hope I don't hear anything on the news. But we did. But it wasn't Georgia. It was Colorado. Just a few moments later. And this is the problem that we're facing in this country. The NRA actually put up a post yesterday, immediately after we found out that there was a mass shooting, talking about the Second Amendment. And I'm like, you all are more concerned with posturing, political posturing, and these bodies, the bodies of those people were barely cold. That's where we are. The political climate in this country is one that's going to get us killed. It's going to destroy this country from the inside, because they're more concerned about protecting the rights of people to own guns than they are about protecting the lives of the people who are the victims of these kind of shootings.
Yeah. And what's interesting, there's a lot of things that are interesting about this, because the woman that we were talking about yesterday, Lauren Boebert, who's a representative out of Colorado, was actually tweeting, right? We know that she loves guns. She talks about guns. You can just literally go through her videos on her social media pages, and she constantly talks about her rights to have guns. She says that if the governor tells her that she can't serve Jesus Christ, if they come to her door, she knows how to protect herself for that. She says things like that. She says that we should have guns, and she's been rooting for it. She said that she should be able to have a tanker. If she has automatic weapons, she should be able to have tankers around her home because she has 5 acres or something of that nature. So many times she's been in the media or on her social media stating how much she loves guns. During the mass shooting, she actually was tweeting about something totally different, like nothing about the mass shooting. Mind you, she's a representative out of Colorado. Right. And this is what we see, and this is what we have. These people are insensitive, and they rather have access and give access to, or give people access to guns for free. Yeah. Nothing that needs to go in place, no rules, no regulation, just give them access to guns for free. And I wanted to read this that came out of the Denver Post about 3 days ago, March 18th, 2021. A judge blocked Boulder from enforcing its 2-year-old ban on assault weapons and large capacity magazines in the city, setting up the chance for the state Supreme Court to review whether Colorado cities can create their own restrictions on gun ownership. So the Boulder County District Court judge ruled Friday that the city can't enforce its ordinance banning the possession, transfer, or sale of assault weapons and large capacity magazines because the state law says local governments can't prohibit the possession or sale of firearms. And this was just
3 days
on March
ago.
18th, 2021. And boom.
4 or 5 days.
Later. Yeah. A few days later, here we are, and in this same state where they don't really care to put any restrictions on that, or not even hearing the people who want the restrictions.
Right.
Somebody goes in and just shoots up people just like that.
That's the thing. The people, they're doing this even opposed to the will of the people, because the majority of Americans actually prefer some mild gun control, like background checks, kind of a waiting period. 2 pretty standard things that would absolutely help prevent some of these shootings. Because as we saw in Atlanta, he got the gun the same day. Would he have been in a murderous rage 3 days later after a 3-day waiting period? Possibly, because, white grievance is a pretty potent thing, but somebody could have found him out. Maybe one of his parents would have seen he had weapons in his bedroom. But all I know is that they are more concerned with protecting guns than they are protecting lives. And this is America's Achilles heel. Like this, there's literally nothing that we can do politically to even roll this back. Not because it's impossible, but because the political will is not there. And I knew this, and I came to grips with this after Sandy Hook. After that man went in there and massacred children, and we did nothing, I knew America would never do anything about guns, and we would allow that to be the cancer that kills us from within. And that's what's happening right now.